Welcome back to Start Your Systems, where today we have some more MXGP 24 gameplay to show you guys. Their new pre-order release trailer has dropped, and it shows a little bit of gameplay that they themselves have produced and been able to show us. So we finally get a chance to see what they want to put forth in front of us to show. So let's jump in and take a look at this trailer. Real quick before we talk about this trailer, I want to let you guys know that Wyndham151, who's always done great work in the console gaming space, also has some gameplay that he showed off himself. I don't want to take any of that stuff that he posted, so please go check out his channel as well if you want to see some extra gameplay. But let's talk about this gameplay trailer that they're showing off to us and just kind of scroll through a couple things and kind of try to break this down a little bit. So first off, they show Schweiz, which is Switzerland. I think it's how you say it in German, and presented by IXS, Afternoon Sunny. So they have kind of like all these different sponsor features. But I mean, it's supposed to be the MXGP official video game. So of course, there's going to be a lot of lookalikes of what MXGP is supposed to look like. I want to pause on this screen just to start, though, because we are, let's say, a month away from release, and they seemingly might be pushing it back based on some release date information changing on a few websites. But let's just say November 28th, which is the date that a lot of people have seen, is the day that this comes out. This is a gameplay trailer that they're putting out, and we have Guadagnini and Fox gear with just very generic numbers, the same as Calvin Verlanderen over here, the same as Ruben Fernandez. This hurling stuff is very generic on the back of the jersey, but regardless of that, on the side plate of Fernandez, that's not the font Honda uses. That's not the font that Yamaha uses on the side of Verlanderen's plate. So we're already showcasing the gameplay, and we're missing a lot of fine details that MXGP does. Do I care about that? Maybe not so much, but if you look at all their goggles, we have some goggles that are sponsored, like Hurling's Oakley goggles over here, or Verlanderen's 100% goggles. Then we have whatever's on Mattia Guadagnini here, and it seems to be on Jago Geertz over here as well. So it seems like if they don't have a brand in game, they just chose like this default mud texture to make it look like the goggles are covered. We'll talk about that in a second, because like, look, what is going on over here? Tim Geiser's number font wrong again, and we have this goggle. I'm just trying to not be over nitpicky necessarily, but I don't know what this is. Like, this is a completely mud covered goggle. We don't even see eyes or anything, which, I mean, if it's a tinted lens, that's fine, but it looks like it's completely covered in mud. So let's show guys are going into turn one here, and we switch to first person camera, which, okay, look, doesn't look that bad, to be honest. I'll give them credit here, because this is what first person gameplay has looked like in a lot of the MXGP games, where it's kind of glitchy and a little bit like the bars turn, but you're not really turning your head or anything like that, and you're just kind of looking straight forward. So this looks like kind of the same as what we've seen, and then they switch to a different part of the track over here. And then we have the bike falling away in the corner, which is another thing that MXGP games before and Milestone games always dealt with. And I feel like I should pause and say this, because a lot of people in our last video were like, oh, great, another release by Milestone that's going to suck or whatever. This is not Milestone. This is KT Racing, which is a subsidiary of Nacon. They're both French companies making games. KT Racing has been involved in WRC, Isle of Man, like all those types of games. And Milestone lost the right to produce the MXGP series game after their title in 2021. So that's why we haven't had an MXGP game since then. And this is why now this new gaming company, after obtaining the rights last year, 2023, had 1 year to make this game. So I've tried to not be nitpicky about this game because I still haven't felt it. I've reached out to these guys several times now. Haven't heard anything back, and we'll, obviously play it when it comes out if they don't get back to me. But I don't know what this feels like at all. I can only speak to what it looks like, which, as you guys know, as gamers, there's a look of in a certain way that things are maybe supposed to kind of come together. And we come from the simulation game side a little bit where that doesn't always ring true. Like what looks to be kind of dumb or generic, especially with like MX Simulator, actually feels a lot different when you play it. So I've reserved judgment until I feel like, can we actually lay into ruts? Can you throw the bike around? Can you manipulate the rider to do certain things with the bike? This generic gameplay doesn't give you that kind of sense or feel because, again, we have the super far leaning forward. We have no ruts really being generated behind the rider by the looks of it. The bike's kind of swiveling around all over the place. And then this weird step thing they had at Frauenfeld, but it didn't look like that in my opinion. And then some more first-person gameplay, the rider sliding through there. I thought we'd have a little bit more third-person gameplay to kind of show this detail off, but not too much really to show in that sense of it. And the thing about arcade racing games on the console side is that to some degree they're always going to have to take a little bit of liberties with the very arcadish feel of the game, because someone who's never ridden a dirt bike before doesn't understand that to turn the machine you have to lean over and then pick it back up. If they're only used to car racing games, they're going to be like, I'm turning and then I'm done turning. So I don't understand why the rider isn't turning or turning a certain way, which is often why you get this really weird like stand up and then lean back over look with the rider, because that's all just done through animations. They're controlling the gyro point of the bike probably with this game, and with sim games, with MX Bikes and MX Simulator, to pick the bike back up out of the corner, you actually have to pick the bike back up out of the corner, which for us motocross racers feels very natural. But for people that have never played it before, they make this unnatural looking thing where when you let go of the stick, it just automatically picks it back up. So again, I'm not trying to be critical of that. I'm more trying to explain that looks terrible because realistic motocross doesn't look like that. But that's why they do that, so that a gamer who's playing it and doesn't understand leaning and all this stuff, when they pick the bike back up, it's just going to, obviously stand it back up and go a certain direction. We get more first-person gameplay here. Look, they got goggle cam. At least, I don't know if we'll be able to pull tear-offs. It doesn't look like they show that at any point. There's a lot of mud being kicked up on the screen. It's very typical of this type of genre game being produced by a company like this, where they throw a lot of aesthetics at you to try to be like, wow, look at the graphics, look at this, look at that. And the gameplay is something that we as moto fans might focus on a bit more, but they maybe didn't spend as much time doing. So this is what irks me a little bit about games like this. And it's, again, a very arcade type of thing, but it's when he's taking off here, he's going one direction, and then, we're turning in the middle of the air somehow. And we land and we're turning and going a certain direction. That's something that they're really going to have to polish up and not fall into the trap of as a console gaming side, because there's a way to make the game fun and realistic without doing some ridiculous stuff like being able to turn in midair, which is super unrealistic. Like, this company produces car racing games, and granted, there's a lot of comments on this release trailer video explaining, from people who are explaining like, why is this still a problem in WRC or the other games they've been releasing, and they're not fixing it. People seem to not trust KT Racing as much with being able to update and fix things with their already existing games. Is that going to be a problem with this game? I don't know. But I do think that this is a starting point for them. They had 1 year to build this game. And if this is what we're going to get, this is what we're going to play. Obviously, it's going to change over the years. It's not going to just stay this, I don't think. I could be wrong. Maybe 2 years from now we're playing this game again and it looks exactly like this. But I think that they had such limited time to throw this together. There's very good reason to assume that this is just the best they could accomplish in a single year. And there's people in the comments saying like, it's actually takes skills to make a game look this bad. But at the end of the day, they did produce something that is motocross. You can see it's a motocross game. Is it going to be the best motocross game ever? No, of course not. But that's why we have these simulated games. And obviously, motocross the game is another new potential genre for us, where it's a crossover of sim and real arcade, I should say, with using console and PC combined. And hopefully, it works out to be exactly what they say. But if console gamers are ever going to make progress, it's going to be with a starting point like this, trying to build. So I'm very skeptical that this looks good or anything positive, but it could end up being good. Who knows? We haven't played it yet. We still haven't felt it. We're a month away or so from this being released. I don't think they have a pre-order now. So like, let's take a look at this pre-order. Let's do a little bit of paper trail running here. So this trailer, like I said, was put out by Nacon. This is on their Nacon YouTube channel. And so it says pre-order now. So if you go to the Steam store, this comes up and says release date November 28th. If we go to Xbox Marketplace, let's see, is it still November 28th? Like, we can just follow this through a little bit. Pre-order, is there a release date? Yes, so release date of November 28th. So they're seemingly on track, and they have a whole shot edition too. Let me check that out in just a second, but I just want to make sure that this is also the same. Yes, so this is releasing at 1 a.m. Pacific on the 28th of November. So we are 27 days away from that coming to fruition. I want to see what this whole shot edition is real quick, if you guys will just bear with me for a second. This is so it's $69.99. It's the Fox whole shot edition. Online multiplayer on console requires Game Pass, sold separately. So Fox 50th anniversary, Fox FlexAir Energy, Fox 180 Emotion, Fox 360 74. Those are the Fox racing kits that come with it. You need a Nacon account to access the archive pass. One set of 63 stickers, okay, and one MXGP TV archive pass. So we can get an MXGP TV pass apparently by buying this game. And yeah, so 20 tracks, favorite riders, extensive career mode, free ride, realistic game, advanced physics. They still haven't talked any more details about this not having online, but they say that you can get online by having Game Pass. So I don't know. We shall wait and see. That's kind of my mantra at this point in time, because who the heck knows what's going to happen with this game in 27 days? Is it coming out? Is it coming out on the scheduled date that they say it's going to be released? I mean, if it's already at all of these places, it seems likely that it's going to come out, but I don't really know. So yeah, that's a little bit of review of their most recent gameplay. We will continue to follow this story and hope that things potentially get a little bit better, and we can see. I mean, they got screenshots now that you can kind of go through and take a look at what this kind of looks like. We've already posted some of these screenshots up on our social channels, but yeah, who knows, man? We will just keep on trucking and trying to keep an eye on this game and see how it develops. Obviously, we're going to keep covering MX Bike Sim, Legends, Supercross games, and all that stuff like that. But I genuinely want to play this and at least give it a review of feeling it in our hands and seeing what it's like. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, happy to answer them for you guys in the comment section below. But that's our little look at the pre-release trailer of some gameplay that we finally have from Nacon and KT Racing's MXGP 24. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. So long for now.